Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Major police operation at St. James Church. 40 people, including children, removed from facility. Millions in damage after massive fire at Market District in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. And later in sports, Windies defeat UAE in second ODI. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. We begin with a TVJ News exclusive. Tension is brewing as the dealer's license of the Jamaica Rifle Association, JRA, has been revoked by the Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA. The authorities have been tight-lipped about the details. Our reporter Giovanni Dennis is tracking the development and now joins us live. Giovanni, we understand that the revocation took immediate effect.
No, that is indeed correct, Shamela. No, what this means is that this dealer's license allowed the JRA to bring in firearm and ammunition for their members tax-free as a recognized charitable organization. Now, this is a major blow for all its members, including those who shoot as a sport. Now, so far, the FLA has refused to comment on this development. We called the chairman for a comment, but when I introduced myself, he said the conversation ends here. But sources close to the development say the permit was granted to an overseas competitive shooter to bring in his personal weapon in the island to participate in a local competition. Now, it's further understood that a local shooter became interested in the weapon and sought to purchase it. The firearm, which we understand is a 7.62 rifle according to our sources, was left at the storage facility of the JRA for the sale to be completed. Now, clarity was sought from the FLA on how the transaction could be completed. However, the FLA had already issued a permit for the weapon to leave the island with the shooter at the end of the competition. Now, the FLA, we understand, immediately seized the weapon when it became aware of what was happening. Now, this essentially because the FLA does not allow firearms to be sold in that way because it is a personal weapon that was allowed in the island for personal use. Now, the FLA would have to have issued what is called a disposal permit for such a transaction to take place, and arrangements would have to have been made beforehand. Now, we understand that in addition to the revocation of the license, that charges could be laid as a report could be sent to the Commissioner of Police for investigation, and there could be implications arising from this as other firearm dealers and clubs have arrangement with the JRA, Shamila, and those could be impacted. Now, we did reach out to the JRA for a comment, but we have not so far received a comment. Now, we also understand that changes at the JRA are imminent amid all of what is happening right now, and of course we'll continue tracking this story and have more details in primetime news. But for now, it's back to you, Shamela.
Thank you, Giovanni. To other news now, there was a major operation at a St. James-based church this morning. It's understood some 40 people, including children, were taken into police custody. O'Shane Masters reports.
Over 40 people, including children, were removed from the Kahal Yahweh compound in Paradise District, St. James, Wednesday morning. The operation, which was spearheaded by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency CPFSA, is similar to one which occurred at that location almost 4 years ago. At that time, there were reports of child abuse and young girls being married to grown men. However, it's not clear what led to the operation this morning. TVJ News has been informed, however, that the individuals were taken to the family court in the parish. In the meantime, Anthony James and other residents of the Paradise community are upset that operations were allowed to continue at the location following the 2019 standoff, which saw some 6 children being removed from the premises.
When the first incident took place down there, no one was really, I could imagine it staying there so long without the government doing something about it. It should never have been there.
As to questions of the property being closed down, Mr. James says that should be based on investigations carried out by the security forces.
They're supposed to see to it that the right thing should be done here. Don't leave it unprotected. Don't leave it, especially the children, unprotected.
We will provide more updates on this story as it becomes available. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Investigators are trying to determine the cause of a massive fire which broke out in the Market District in Spanish Town, St. Catherine this morning. A number of shops were destroyed in the devastation. More in this report. This is a daybreak scene of the Market District at Cumberland Avenue in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Remnants of the structure after a massive fire broke out early Wednesday morning. Firefighters were busy trying to salvage what they could. The area had about 10 to 15 shops, and a number of them have been destroyed.
We received this call at 2:49 of a building on fire at Cumberland Avenue, Spanish Town. We responded with 2 units, one from Portmore, one from Spanish Town. We had 14 firefighters overall.
The cause of the fire has not been determined, but several vendors are now counting their losses.
And a lot of investments have been gone up in smoke, so to speak. It is quite a bitter loss that is here. Just looking at it, you can understand the investment that have gone through here for most of the people here.
I do phone case, I do gadgets, I do phone, I do game, I do speaker box, I do SIM cards, I do credit machine, I do bath and body, I do house accessories, air freshener.
And everything got it?
Everything.
TVJ News understands that some of these businesses were not insured. Meanwhile, President of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce, Dennis Robotham, says plans are in place to formalize some of these small businesses to help protect them when incidents like these happen.
We were in plans right now to incorporate them in terms of bringing them up to speed in terms of business, seminars, that sort of thing. Something that we have had on our agenda. And our new director, Mr. Xavier Allen, is the person who was supposed to. He's a former banker, and those were the plans that we had to deal with and still have, that we will bring forward to, enhance how they operate and that sort of thing.
Several residents are now counting their losses after a fire in Buff Bay, Portland. The fire destroyed a 5-bedroom house in the western end of the parish. The details in this report.
Everything gone.
The third major fire in Portland in under 2 weeks. And like the previous 2, this fire was devastating. 12 people now do not have a home following the blaze at their 5-bedroom structure in Buff Bay. An estimate of the damage is not yet known. Neither is it clear what caused the fire. Bishop Peku said as a woman of God she had to help the victims. They include a matriarch who is 78 and a baby who's 1 year old.
Well, we were at church here Sunday night, and during we are here worshiping, then we get a call that fire up by the house. So them lose everything. I could not do anything for them more than rescue them in the church. So I'm here with them in the church.
But even with the goodwill of the church, the family cannot stay at the place of worship forever. So they're asking the public for help.
It is very difficult for all of us because, as you can see, we lost everything.
As you can see, they are very sickly. At time, even the mother, she's very sickly. The other one, little more, she passed out on us, one of the daughter, because they traumatized. The fire that they see and everything, they lose everything. We have to just keep on encouraging them, tell them the way, but that still cannot heal them pain.
Some help has been forthcoming in the first few days since the fire.
We'll be providing concrete blocks, we'll be providing sand, we'll be providing cement for these people to start. But what we'll be appealing for the general public is to ensure that the people can get proper assistance so that they can have roof over their head as quickly as possible. We need assistance from the political directorate. We also need assistance from people or persons who can chime in to make these people's life better. We're asking, we're begging.
But a lot more is needed to help restore the family to a stage prior to the fire. Anyone who can help is urged to contact Shanice Gowie at 876-881-4917. The people in the meantime are worried about the frequency of fires in Portland in the last few weeks.
It's a trend we recognize. Normally, the spirit hardly have fire in the parish. And this is something we have to investigate to find out what is the root cause of the fire. We don't want to jump too early to conclusion. We are waiting the fire department to do their investigation. And as soon as their investigation is concluded, we can form our own opinions.
Carrie Simpson for TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Play your part. That plea from Councillor of Montego Bay South Division and Deputy Mayor Richard Vernon. Mr. Vernon is urging residents to stop the illegal dumping in gullies as it's a major contributor to flood.
There was mayhem in the city of Montego Bay, St. James following just a few hours of rainfall on Tuesday. Sections of Barnett and Creek streets were impassable. Montego Bay is not new to flooding when it rains. Councillor for Montego Bay South and Deputy Mayor Richard Vernon admits he's concerned whenever it approaches the hurricane season.
I'm worried because I know that we already have some inherent vulnerabilities that once they are exacerbated, they can cause problems. So I'm always worried. And there are certain things that we can't change, but there are certain things that we can improve upon so that we can abate some of the risk associated with the vulnerabilities that we have.
It is why he is urging residents to be more responsible with the disposal of their garbage.
I noticed that some of them have upgraded the type of waste that they throw in our gullies, from plastic bottles and small pieces of waste to mattresses, beds, stoves, refrigerators, old ones, you name them. These things are even more dangerous than the plastic itself because it creates a hindrance in the flow of water and causes the gully to overflow its banks quicker than we anticipate.
He says the municipal corporation has met and drain cleaning activities have started, especially in areas deemed critical drain areas.
There is this one that we have, it is very much damaged and it is in the railway lane area. And we are about to undertake works. This project has been approved since last year. However, due to some procurement, ebbs, we have been slow to start the construction or reconstruction of this drain. But it is going ahead now. And we are very confident that we will have a new drainage system in the railway lane area in short order.
In the meantime, Mr. Vernon says despite the concerns, the St. James Municipal Corporation remains in a state of readiness for the hurricane season. Carrie Simpson for TVJ News.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, has joined the Jamaica Energy Resilience Alliance. As an alliance member, the JMEA will be able to leverage the Jamaica Energy Resilience Alliance's resources in promoting solar energy opportunities within the manufacturing and export sectors. In January 2021, the United States Agency for International Development and the Jamaica Energy Resilience Alliance launched the Strengthening Energy Sector Resilience in Jamaica program. Now it aims to strengthen Jamaica's energy sector to rebound quickly from disasters by supporting the adoption of distributed and resilient renewable energy technologies. Further afield, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said he expects to discuss Joe Biden's flagship package of investment in green industries when he meets the president during his trip to the United States. On the plane to Washington, D.C., Mr. Sunak said subsidy races were not a solution to hitting climate goals. Some British ministers have criticized Mr. Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, as harmful to world trade. The law includes $370 billion to boost green technology in the United States. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Shane Masters.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's health report. In this evening's health report, we look at endometriosis.
In terms of medical management, you can start out by giving pain medication, such as NSAIDs or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, such as ibuprofen, such as naproxen, which is a leaf. You can give medication that's prescription, such as diclofenac potassium or cataflam. And in addition to that, you can give the contraceptive pill, the oral contraceptive pill. And ideally, you'd want to give it continuously. You'd not want to give it where you take 21 pills and then a 7-day break, because anything that causes one to have the period will make the endometriosis worse. So you'd want them to take the pill continuously, not take a break so that they don't see a period.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. To help relieve period pain, you can try putting a heating pad on your lower belly or take a warm bath. Exercising, as it may help ease menstrual cramps. Massaging your belly and lower back may decrease pain. Eating a balanced diet to include more fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. And drinking enough water can also help lessen period bloating. And we're now joined once again by Giovanni Dennis with an update on our lead story about the Jamaica Rifle Association. Giovanni, what can you tell us?
Well, Shamala, I can say that amid all that is happening right now and the controversy essentially engulfing the JRA, its current president, who is retired Major John Nelson, has resigned with immediate effect. Now, Major Johnson's term would have come to an end constitutionally in a month's time when the association is expected to elect a new president. However, given what is happening right now, he just confirmed to me by a phone that he has resigned, in fact, with immediate effect. Now, the Jamaica Rifle Association is expected to send out a statement on this matter, and someone else will be speaking for the JRA on the matter. So Major Johnson said he could not provide any further information, but we can confirm, Major John Nelson, that should be, has resigned as the president of the JRA. We'll have more information on this story further.
Okay, thank you, Giovanni. Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the United Nations has expressed deep sadness as another deadly earthquake claimed the lives of at least 3 people near the Haitian city of Giovanni in the early hours on Tuesday. This latest catastrophe compounds an already life-threatening situation where recent rains have caused flooding and landslides. The quake, which has been upgraded to a 5.5 magnitude, struck in the department of Grandance following torrential rains, which have displaced more than 13,000 people. On the international scene, a high school graduation in Richmond, Virginia ended in tragedy Tuesday evening. Police say a gunman opened fire, killing 2 people and wounding 5 others. One of those killed, a 19-year-old who just graduated. A 19-year-old suspect tried to flee on foot but was arrested. He will be charged with at least 2 counts of second-degree murder. And thousands of people are being evacuated downstream of a major dam which has collapsed in Russian-held Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky said 80 towns and villages may be flooded after the destruction of the dam at Novokakhovka, which he blames on Russia. Water is surging down the Dnipro River and is said to pose a catastrophic flooding risk to the city of Kherson. Russia has denied destroying the dam which it controls, instead blaming Ukrainian shelling. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Thank you, Carrie. And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jordan Fort.